Hello everyone, this is a video about Power Quickness Herald. The goal of this video is not to give you in-depth explanations, but to summarize the key points to make you perform adequately. The gear and build are linked in the video description. We will focus on the gameplay. Power Quickness Herald, as the name suggests, is a power DPS build that provides quickness. One of its main strengths, however, is that it also provides a lot of might, protection, fury, swiftness, and depending on playstyle, even regeneration to the subgroup. As such, it is a perfect partner for an alacrity healer that has a harder time accessing some of those boons reliably. Core mechanic is the energy system, combined with the trait Elevated Compassion. As long as you're draining energy over time, that is to say spending at least 6 energy pips, will produce roughly 1.75 seconds of quickness every second. This means that you net a surplus of quickness, which allows this build to quickly cap out at 30 seconds of reserve on everyone. All of this happens in a generous 600 radius around you. It's no surprise that with this much reliability and ease of use, Power Quickness Herald is widely regarded as one of the top quickness builds in the game. Let us now look at facets and the different ways of reaching 6 energy maintenance cost. On Glint we need a little bit of math. The healing facet and the swiftness facet cost 1 upkeep. The might facet, the fury facet and the F2 facet cost 2 upkeep, and the protection facet costs 4 upkeep. While the facets are draining you, they provide boons, and the F2 facet gives incoming boon duration. After using the active, they stop providing their boon. This is the core functionality of the Glint legend. Since we want to use the swiftness facet and the might facet as part of our damage output, and not for their passive upkeep, the easiest way to reach 6 is to always have the elite ability and your F2 ability draining. With this you provide protection in an area around you and make everyone's boon uptimes better. On the assassin legend Shiro, the skill Impossible Odds just straight up costs 6 energy, so there it is very easy. Should you ever play with the Dwarf legend Chalice, Vengeful Hammers will fill the same purpose. As you can see from this explanation, Herald thrives on being at negative energy, meaning you cannot reasonably camp a legend. Instead you should spend all the energy and then swap legend immediately to restart at 50. Try practicing this a little on the golem to make sure you understood the concept of producing quickness. Next, I want to show how to use the might and swiftness facet for damage. Their cooldowns make it so that you can use them twice every time you're on Glint. You want to double tap both of them at the start and then towards the end of the legend. In between, you turn on your elite and your F2 for quickness, and then before the end you consume those as well for bonus damage and extra boon extension. Then you swap to Shiro, turn on Impossible Odds, drain all your energy and then restart with Glint. Note that the might facet only gives you the damage buff if you hit something, and it's a melee hit in front of you. Now let's look at weapon skills. On Greatsword, your 5, 2 and 3 are all worth using for damage, with special emphasis on Greatsword 5 being particularly strong. On Sword, your 2, 4 and 5 are also all worth using for damage. While your auto attacks are pretty strong on their own, using weapon skills regularly, especially skill 2, is necessary to maintain the 5% damage buff from Relic of the Thief. The Greatsword 3, due to a bug, unfortunately does not count towards the Relic, so it is the first skill to cut if you want to make this build easier to play. If you choose to run both swords and Greatsword, pair up the Greatsword with Glint and the swords with Shiro, then weapon swap whenever you swap legends. If you only want one damaging weapon set, then you can use Staff as your secondary set. On Staff you have a bunch of skills with a variety of utility, but the most important move is Staff 5. Staff 5 does a massive amount of drug control, and it does especially a lot of it towards the end of its dash, so for optimal CC you should just take a few steps away from your target before using the dash. Let's look at a few more details in no particular order. The healing skill on Glint, Infuse Light, reverts incoming damage into healing once you consume it. This is extremely powerful against many mechanics in raids and strikes, don't be afraid to use it. Your F2 active, True Nature, is best used on Glint to provide a boon extension to everyone. On Shiro, it removes boons from your enemy, and on Chalice it provides stability in an area around you. I suggest you use it on Glint towards the end to further extend boons, before swapping to Shiro. Leaving it running on Shiro, together with Impossible Odds, will unfortunately consume too much energy and won't let you use your weapon skills. When you choose to play Chalice, it's usually for the Inspiring Reinforcement skill, often called Road. Standing on the road pulls stability, and since each section of the road is independent of the others, this skill exceeds its target cap and can grant stability to 10 people very easily if players spread out on it enough. If you ever experience downtime in a fight, having Regeneration, Fury, Swiftness and Might facet running is a great fallback routine that also allows for a clean opening afterwards while pulsing all important boons during the downtime. While spending energy on weapon skills is obviously great for doing more damage, never let that interfere with your quickness generation. There are many heralds that somehow struggle with capping out on quickness because they are too greedy for damage. Having a continuous upkeep cost of 6 is the number one priority you have. Over time you'll recognize how to better use your reserves and conserve energy when it's not necessary to pulse boons, but as a beginner you cannot and should not try to make that judgment call yet. If you want to know how to precisely play the rotation, make sure to check the build link in the video description. It contains more detailed information. With this video I want you to take away all the information necessary to produce great boon uptime while doing a decent amount of damage. Use impossible odds on Shiro, use your elite skill and your F2 skill on Glint, then weave in some facet activations for bonus damage, and make sure your Thief Relic bonus never drops. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching and I see you next time.